The beak snaps shut. A heavy serrate. The serrated edge cleanly slices through the fibrous, chemical-laden vein of the marsh leaf. A lethal dose of alkaloids, forcefully choked down into the darkness. This is not mere sustenance in any conventional biological sense. It is the deliberate ingestion of paralyzing poison, the opening volley in a brutal, internal chemical war fought entirely within the suffocating confines of the bird's anatomy. Swallowed down into the crushing, humid black. Here, the thick, wet walls of an engorged foregut begin their relentless, rhythmic contraction. A gargantuan biological vat churning slowly in the shadows of the avian cavity. As the toxic bolus enters this pressurized chamber, the liquid environment immediately erupts into a violent cascade of bacterial fermentation, transforming the stomach into a microscopic battlefield of breaking bonds. The bubbling begins, a toxic, wet alchemy. To understand this grotesque internal crucible, we must immerse ourselves in the flooded, hypoxic backwaters of the Amazon basin, where dense, suffocating canopies completely overshadow the stagnant, blackwater tributaries of the Orinoco. Beneath this fragmented, claustrophobic jungle light, the air hangs impossibly heavy with rot, methane, and humidity. Life here moves with a forced, labored hesitation. Sweat on the leaves, a relentless, breathless heat. Hidden within these remote, tangled branches, the Hoatzin navigates its territory with a clumsy, deliberate lethargy. It is an archaic survivor, an evolutionary paradox that perfectly mirrors the slow decay of its environment. Its sharp claws grip the slick, sweating bark of the mangrove. Every single movement requires a heavy, strained expansion of its ribcage, a visible struggle against its own mass. Feathers rustle, a prisoner trapped in the canopy. The Hoatzin possesses a digestive mechanism so profoundly radical, it is entirely alien to the rest of the avian world. It is the only bird on Earth that utilizes foregut fermentation, functioning biologically like a winged cow. To survive exclusively on a diet of highly toxic foliage, its crop has evolved into an enormous, muscular fermentation vat, packed densely with billions of symbiotic anaerobic bacteria, microscopic infantry, neutralizing the poison in the dark. This ruthless biological efficiency comes at a devastating anatomical cost. The dramatically enlarged digestive organ aggressively displaces the sternum and vital flight muscles, fundamentally restructuring the bird's skeleton to accommodate its stomach. It is a creature literally weighed down by the burden of its own digestion, forced into a life of profound lethargy just to process the toxins it consumes. Gravity claims its toll, a heavy, necessary tax. Deep within the dark, muscular folds of the crop, the climax of this biological warfare is reached. The toxic leaves are crushed, submerged in a caustic slurry of microscopic life. Cell walls shatter. The poison is stripped away. In hypnotic, grueling slow motion, we witness the absolute zenith of digestion. The bacteria tear through the alkaloid defense mechanisms of the foliage, generating an overwhelming volume of methane and volatile fatty acids as a volatile byproduct of their survival. The pressure inside the bird reaches a critical threshold. The heavy crop heaves outward, a biomechanical engine venting its exhaust into the stifling, humid jungle. A deep, guttural release, the stench of rot. This continuous, violent off-gassing produces a stench so remarkably foul and pervasive that it deters nearly all would-be predators, wrapping the bird in an invisible, impenetrable shield of its own rotting digestion. Exhausted by the sheer effort of eating, the Hoatzin slumps heavily against the branches, its eyes half closed in a narcotic stupor born from its internal fermentation. Drugged by the process, resting in the rot. When we zoom out from the microscopic violence of the foregut, a profound ecological strategy reveals itself. By mastering the alchemy of poison, the Hoatzin secures an infinite,
uncontested food supply in a ruthlessly competitive ecosystem. While other species fight to the death over scarce fruits and insects, the stinkbird sits surrounded by an endless buffet of toxic leaves that would instantly paralyze its rivals. A feast of venom, the ultimate evolutionary cheat. It is the ultimate manifestation of natural selection's dark sense of irony. It conquered the canopy not with speed or agility, but by willingly transforming itself into a slow, foul-smelling, flying compost heap that nothing else desires to consume. Its survival is guaranteed, not by its majesty, but by its absolute repugnance. It thrives simply because it is too difficult, too toxic, and too foul to be killed. Safety through disgust. A brilliant, filthy design.
As twilight suffocates the Orinoco, the Hoatzin prepares to endure the cycle once again. Its existence is a powerful testament to the fact that survival in the wild is rarely beautiful. It is a brutal, agonizing compromise against the elements. Trapped in its own evolutionary genius, the bird stares into the creeping darkness. It is a master of its toxic domain, yet forever a slave to its own heavy anatomy. Grounded by survival, the eternal heavy digestion. Nature demands a profound sacrifice for every advantage it bestows. We invite you to consider the crushing weight of adaptation and ask yourself, what burdens would you carry to ensure your own absolute invulnerability in a hostile world? The black water flows on, silent and uncaring, while the canopy above continues to drip with sweat and poison, hiding the eternal struggle in the shadows. Listen to the wild, feel the heavy burden,